Jared Fogle, the douchebag from Subway.
Well,
the douche of Subway.
The douche of Subway. Jared Fogle is our next topic, and this topic was so fucking outlandish. Excuse my language, but it's warranted. This topic is so ridiculous. I don't know. One, how this isn't on mainstream media everywhere. Yeah, it was on the media for news for a while, but why isn't this still out there? And I'll tell you guys why I am so completely livid at this Jared Fogle story, because I found out more information. First off, just the sentencing of his crimes is baffling to me. This man has been convicted of touching, molesting, doing something sexual with up to 14 children. And these are just the ones that they're charging him with. He's been doing this for years. But the 14 that they're charging him with, he has to pay each of them $100,000. Some of them, which are adults now, need the money, but still, $100,000 each. So that's only $1.4 million. Granted, the countless people in other countries that he's done horrible things to. On top of that, he's only serving, but this guy only got 5 to 12.5 years in prison. Only.
Not even one for each person.
Not even one for each person, for goodness sake. At the maximum, he got less than the amount of people he's charged for molesting. I'm sorry I'm loud, but this is fucking baffling for me. There's people spending their life in prison right now because of a three-strike felony drug charge. Ain't molested, ain't hurt, ain't did nothing to nobody besides get caught with drugs. They're in prison for 30, 40, 50 years. This man molests countless children. Alright. Even more information. The lady who outed him, she became his friend just so that she could out him. And she said that she had worked with the FBI. She had they've known about this for about 10 years. It's been an ongoing investigation for quite some time. The last 4.5 years of those 10 years, the FBI took action. She wore a wire for 4.5 years before the FBI took action and actually arrested Fogle. So that means that they actually had information that Fogle had been molesting children years ago. Years upon years ago. So much so, this lady said he became very bold in the way that he was talking about children. He had even went as far as to say, can he put cameras in her children's bedrooms so that he could watch them, and asked her if any of her kids had attractive children. He would even talk to her about him going to different places to have sex with children. These are his words. I would fly us clear across the world if we needed to Thailand or wherever we wanted to go. If we're going to go try to get some young kids with us, it will be a lot easier. To go to Thailand and get young children, it would be a lot easier. And this is what he said after he had a young boy. It's on tape. This is a married father of 2, mind you. I had a little boy. It was amazing. It just felt so good. It felt so good. So this man, after having sex with a boy, was such enjoyed by it, he was lost for words for a moment there. And it took them 5 more years than they needed to arrest this man. Okay, even if we say, all right, they didn't have the hard evidence till for the past 4.5 years, they finally got the hard evidence. They had enough evidence 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago to arrest this man, but the FBI and our government took their sweet time arresting this man.
I think ultimately that's the question, is why? Why did they sit on this mound of evidence and not do anything about it? They had someone who was an informant for them for, you said, how many years?
She wore a wire for 4.5, but she knew this was going on for 10 years.
So, if they had all that information, why not go ahead and do what needs to be done? They could have protected so many and kept so many people safe from this, let's call him what he is, a monster, for 4.5 years. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense to me.
And the lady I'm talking about is Herman Waller, and this is what she said. She contacted the FBI, who asked her to wear a wire, glossed over in the mainstream media. However, in this fax, the entire process took 10 years. According to the interview, Herman Walrun gave the ABC News she Roy Wire for 4.5 years before the FBI took action and arrested Fogle. These are her actual words. That was my biggest question. Why was it taking so long? Journalist Rachel Herman Walrun took ABC affiliated WWSB. A case of this size just happens to take that long, and that's what I was told. So just because it was such a big case, it just happens to take that long for you to prosecute something.
It wasn't that big of a case.
It wasn't that big of a case.
This isn't a, someone who did like a terrorist attack. This is someone who's going around to multiple countries and within our own country and is molesting children. It's not that big of a case.
And on top of that, you have 4.5 years of wire data. You wired someone for 4.5 years. That means you got countless conversations from this man. I'm sure he's painted himself into such a horrible corner. For him not to get life in prison is baffling to me and shows how broken the criminal justice system is. Just because he's got enough money to pay off enough people, he's only going to go to prison for 5 to 12.5 years.
And I can go ahead and guarantee you it's going to end up closer to the 5
than the 12.5.
Just because
far.
Yeah, just because he could get out on, good behavior.
Good behavior, yeah, I was going to say. Good behavior, great standings. He didn't molest any of the grown men while he was in there.
Now, Justice says he's going to get raped uncontrollably when he gets in there.
But I doubt that would even happen, though.
I know that's wrong to say, but...
no, that is justice. I don't feel bad about that at all, no. That's the least that should happen to him. He should not be on this planet, in my opinion. People like him do not deserve to be above the jail. They should be sold below the jail. It's not, you should never find him again, ever. You should just forget he had a name after being proven guilty for such despicable crimes. Like, red-handed proven guilty. And I know that they're probably going to send him to some moderate max prison where he's going to be by himself for the majority of his sentence, not in the main population, because he's got enough money and they know what they would do to him, which he justly deserves.
Which is interesting because Jared Fogle, let's be real, he's not that big of a not that big of a celebrity. He's, if anything, a D-list celebrity. The only thing he's ever done was be in commercials.
That's it.
And then he started that foundation, which the foundation was just so he could get closer to children.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
We have to stop catering to the celebrities in this country.
We have to stop catering to the wealthy in this country. I don't care whether you're a celebrity or whether you made money on your own merit. I don't care. If you're wealthy, that does not mean you get to buy and sell our criminal justice system. That is not what America is about. That is disgusting.
It absolutely
is. It is children. Children. Like, you can only imagine what he did to some of the kids outside of this country where there are no rules and regulations.
I think that would be an interesting thing for people to look into, because I think on that basis alone, he could then be in so much shit, not only here but in other places.
Like, he should be charged for every single time he had a flight to somewhere like Thailand or somewhere like that. Absolutely. Where he should get charged for molestation, because that's what he was doing on every trip. Even if half the trips were gonna,
especially after making that statement that it would just be easier to fly to Thailand. If that's the case, then you're obviously only going to Thailand
for one day.
Yeah.
So we just had to talk about that. I know it's a disgusting, despicable case, but we want more people to notice these things and the fact that they get brushed under the rug in our media. And it got a little bit of airtime. Did any of you know that this has been a 10-year investigation? Did any of you know that there was 4.5 years of wire evidence with his own words stating countless things? I didn't know that. I didn't hear that in the media. It was all, we're trying to help find him because he had a friend in New York who was doing this or that and sending pictures or something back and forth. So they were trying to connect them two together. They made it seem like this big thing. No, him and some of his friends loved molesting children, so that's what they got together and did.
See, honestly, and I'm just going to speak for me here. I can't speak for you guys that are watching. But for me, the last thing I ever heard was this is what's going on. So I didn't even know
He was going to jail.
I didn't know he was going to jail. I figured he was probably just going to pay a certain amount of money. He was going to be off.
I didn't even know he was the one who was doing it. They made it seem like he wasn't even the one molesting children. His friend was the one doing it. He just knew of it and didn't really say anything.
And maybe that was just what you were watching, because whatever I saw, they made it very...
Oh, very clear it was him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was a part
I was watching some of the preliminary stuff, so maybe it was just later on got more specific in the cover.
But never heard anything about him getting actually sentenced. There was another part of the sentencing that I think you left out, about $1 million or something like that.
Yeah, no, I said that. $1.4 million, $100,000 for each of the 14 people he's being charged against.
So, I mean, that's just... I know for me, that when you told me this earlier, I was just like, I was dumbfounded and just confused and outraged, even though I don't show it, but that's because I'm boring.
This guy.
But no, it's so, quite frankly, flabbergasting, because it just makes no sense how, quite frankly, a D-list celebrity is able to
found guilty for those and
found guilty for the 14 that they were charging him for,
God,
and
14.
got less years than the amount that they're charging him for. That doesn't make sense. That's okay. So that's 14 charges of molestation. You should have to face the full sentencing for each one. Each charge you get the same punishment for. Should be the way that I always understood the way the sentencing works. And he didn't even get that. It's more like he got sentenced for two of them, or at least one of them. So I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading again. It's just so baffling how brazen this guy got. And she even says it. As Fogle's comments and admissions got more brazen over the years, this is stuff that she caught on camera. He even began asking Herman Walrond if he, Jared, could install hidden cameras in the rooms of her 2 young children. He asked her if she had any friends with hot children. And she said that Fogle's perverts, excuse me. She said Herman's spreads much greater than the 14 people he was convicted for, especially with his tours to Thailand, that it is quite a ridiculous amount of children that he molested. It's just baffling. And this man is not in prison for life. This man is not facing the death penalty. This man will be walking free in our lifetime. By the time I have a child, this man will be walking free.
So I'm just gonna point over here and make sure everybody subscribes.
So you're gonna point over there and make sure everybody subscribes?
Yeah.
Well, you're making sure people are subscribing. I'm gonna make sure people are down there clicking on these next videos, because after you watch these videos, guess what you can do? You can go back and subscribe. Oh yeah, you can do that at the end of all of our videos. And I know it's gonna be good. So either watch these videos or subscribe. Either subscribe or watch these videos.
But do both.
Do both.
But even better than
like and comment.
But definitely subscribe.